I thought I was going to get back to this sooner. For me, it was about a couple of hours. I had errands to do, and I think we all understand that, being an adult with many adult things to adults and all that fun stuff. So I had to take a pause for the adult cause, if you will. So this should be episode 24 of Iron Sworn Starforged Vaults of Vaarn, as we continue our story of Ardell Santos and Matala in their journey, together, where they are trying to get to a library to get information for trying to find the let's see, find books on linguistics. Let's see here. Okay, so journey. Okay, so we need to transfer this particular quest into my next pages here. A long time ago, about a year ago, this is when this quest for my playthrough started, which is kind of wild. So we are here to figure out what Ardell and Matala are up to now, as they are going to create new stories and new adventures in the sands of Vaarn. So what I want to do now is transfer that quest, just so I have something. A vow to find the book on linguistics. Okay, so the vow is find book on linguistics, for, quote, contacting Azathoth. I think Azathoth is an old god, old titan. And maybe this book is some sort of religious text or science document on how to contact old relics of the past or something. Don't really know yet. We'll figure that out. And we have 3 full boxes filled out of 10, and it's a formidable vow. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we have per progress, formidable. And so we have 3 full boxes. And this is also Lore Hunter, because we did swear this with the Lore Hunter. We get plus 2 momentum per progress. Okay. I feel that I think when we get to the library, that'll count as progress. But we haven't gotten there yet. So I think what's going to happen here is, and who is this for? This vow is for interesting. I think this was for Lurch, actually. Yep. Hot-tempered. Knows about the library. Find the book on linguistics, but that book is for whom? Wants a new assistant. So actually, you know what? I don't remember what this is for, and to be honest, I could look at my video history, but to be honest, I don't feel like trying to search for that. So I'm gonna say that this was a personal vow, and if it comes in useful, like the book, then I will. Because this book might have information on space exploration. It might have information on Ardell's exiled community, or rather the community in which he was exiled from, the arcology, in what was it? I forget the name of the arcology vault. These guys want information too, so they're all about finding information and gathering information. So they might take that as a vow to, be rid of his exile. Making atonement for his being exiled is kind of a thing. So he might travel back to there. So find books on linguistics for contacting Azathoth. It's a personal vow / for vault home exiled home. Okay. So this is all right. What are we going to do now? We have them currently in this hex here, the plateau hex. And now what we need to do is they succeeded in their travel. So I want to roll up what this library is, and it's rumored to be there. So there's a chance it couldn't be there. So what I'd like to do is roll up a new region and what it looks like using the Vaults of Vaarn thing. So I'm going to do the library hex is going to be region generator, so we need to roll on the landscape. 8. Low hills. Okay, so library hex, low hills, and with another 8 with there is a grave. With a grave. Interesting. So let's go to page 76 to roll up what the grave is about. 76. That's something I don't think I've rolled up before. So Vaarn is above all else a land heavy with endings, and tombs punctuate the desolation with grim regularity. Okay, so graves are a thing. Here's the hegemony stuff. So that ornithopter, Vaarn is considered one of the least desirable postings a hegemony soldier can receive, and patrolling the interior is considered the least desirable duty within the legions assigned to Vaarn. The hegemony camps found amongst the Blue Dunes are generally sparse, miserable, and paranoid affairs, garrisoned by the most mutinous and untrustworthy soldiers the new hegemony has to offer. So, if we ever run across more hegemony things, there might be a camp nearby. Okay, that's good to know. In the previous session, we had discovered a hegemony crashed ornithopter that had a grave effect on the spirit of Matala and especially Ardell. where his whole system doesn't really respond anymore and or well with the all of the nanotechnology stuff. So let us roll a what this a grave is. So let's roll a few d20s. 7. It's on a dry lake bed. Okay. On a dry lake bed. Okay. And what is the grave for? Titan era programmers. Interesting. On a dry lake bed of Titan era programmers. Okay, so the Titan era programmers implies some high-tech stuff. And then what is the burial method? Upside down, and a quirk. Synthetic gravekeeper. Okay. On a dry lake bed. Buried upside down. A synth grave keeper. Okay. So a synth gravekeeper. This is another NPC here. I want to roll up a name for this NPC real quick. Let's go to the synths. New beast. Synth. Name. There we go. A D20. Name for this particular is Payon. Name. Payon. Okay, so Payon, the synth gravekeeper, is currently at this grave, and I think they arrive at this grave site, and they see the synth gravekeeper tending to the various headstones that are like on their sides. Some are posted upside down, and the writing is again upside down. And I think Matala points over to the grave site and motions for Ardell to slow down on the hoverbike skiff, and he does so, and he goes, "What's the matter?" And she goes, "It seems like whenever we interact or deal with anybody lately, I feel that they're always trouble. We need to be careful this time. Why don't we observe before we engage, no?" And Ardell goes, "That's not a bad idea. They haven't spotted us. Maybe they are on a routine, and we can observe their schedule, and maybe kind of glean the type of individual that they are." Matala says, "That's a good one. Why don't we set up camp up on that ridge over there? No fire tonight, so we'll have to go through some more of our basic rations. And all right, so I think at this point, Matala and Ardell plan to observe and record. So, and record the NPC and its schedule. Okay. Metalla and Ardell are probably going to do like an observational sort of gather information role. So I think that is just a, gather information. When you analyze evidence or do research or conduct an investigation or search for clues, I think it's more of, yes. Let's see. Yes, I think we're gonna get. I think they're gonna gather information, and it's a wits roll. I think Ardell is gonna take the lead on this, and we'll see. Oops, we'll see how that goes. 3 and a 4 on the challenge die, and 2 plus his 3 is going to be a 5. So it's a strong hit. You discover something helpful and specific, the path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn, then take +2 momentum. So, as always, I add my momentum first for my own bookkeeping sake. Narratively speaking, I think it looks like Ardell takes the first, sort of watch, and he observes the synth, a gravekeeper going about, their business, and I'm envisioning that there is some sort of hovel or a small structure that a gravekeeper lives at, and it went in there a couple of times and stuff. But what I want to do is actually, what I want to roll here is a action and theme, like Oracle, or a descriptor and focus. But I think I want to just to sort of get like an idea on what the character is doing. Actually, you know what? Revealed character aspect, I think, is more of a thing that is thing here. And a character first look and disposition. I think that's what we're gonna do. So we have NPC traits, right? Traits and looks, right? So we're going to roll a D100, and first look, 87. 87 is visibly disabled. Okay, so visibly disabled looks like to be a damaged leg or foot. So that's one. Let's do another first look, since all this is based off of the watching and the gathering information roll. 58, also for first look. Plain looking. Okay, so plain or basic attire. So like nothing fancy, like nothing too extravagant, and the person doesn't look too dirty or anything. Just it's dressed for the exact position that it's doing and nothing else. There's no flair, but there's also no wear and tear or anything like that. It's just a plain and basic attire. And let's kind of glean on the disposition. 44 is suspicious. Okay. suspicious disposition. So most likely anytime that our characters interact, this person will be suspicious. We know what their role is. Role is gravekeeper, right? Keeper. And we don't know their goal or anything like that, but we can... we don't know their name per se yet because we just haven't figured that out. I think that's all I need to roll on right now. So what happens next? I think Matala might take the second sort of more evening role and try to scout out the area stealthily. So I think she's gonna use her shade ability and wait until the wait until it's dark. And so she's gonna set her action die to 6. And I think what she's trying to do here is she's trying to sneak around and secure an advantage. And so when you assess a situation, make preparations and gain leverage in the... She's going to do that with stealth and roll shadow. And so she rolled a double 2. So that's obviously a strong that's a strong hit with a match. So the match means on a strong hit, it's an opportunity. So this is like the best outcome ever. And for me, I love when these rolls happen, bad or good. It's just, it's a lot of fun things that can happen. So on the other side of things, she was looking for more of the terrain and the layout and stuff. So the layout of this area. So I think we know that it's a dry lake bed, a grave. So it is lake bed, with grave, upside down stones and statues. The gravekeeper's hut is there. I'm gonna say a dilapidated fence, and I think I want to roll up some more sort of information with that opportunity. I guess I could roll on an opportunity roll here. So let's just go to the oracles, complications and clues. Yeah, let's go with a clue here. We got 84. Suggests a history of similar incidents. Okay. So she's more, she is more scouting the area, so I don't think that's really gonna be thing. So I think we're gonna roll on haunted. Restless spirits are bound to this place. In fact, I believe in my let's see, life forms, strange, wonderful, horrific entities out there. Mystic gifts makes the religion and divine and science are one and the same. Magic serves the same as religious and science. It is both everywhere and nowhere. Totems of strange metal. True can call it blue iron. Got it. Okay. So I'm just making sure that... all right. So a Titan era programmers. So I think that there another piece of information, knowing that is Titan era programmers, is that this is precursor burials. So this is really, 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 really old, ancient ancient grounds. So I think there might be a strong possibility that there is some sort of spirit or some sort of connectivity thing here. So I'm gonna roll on the haunted location theme and roll on an opportunity to see what kind of thing might Matala, because Matala is currently doing this cursory, stealthy overlook of the area of the location. 68. Secret area or path is revealed. Okay, so in this area, so area has a secret space, and has a secret space. I'm wondering what that secret space is. Knowing that the library is nearby, or maybe I'm going to ask the Oracle, is this a graveyard, the site of this library? I'm going to give this an unlikely chance. It could be somewhere else in this hex, but there's a chance it could be, and that would be interesting. So 25 or less, 94. So no, it is not. It is not here. So this secret space is something else. And so like Matala is doing the scouting while Ardell rests back at camp. So we got to figure out what this secret area is, like what this location is. So this is not. This could be. I'm going to roll on location theme. So it's a hidden area. And I'm going to roll on this table to see what kind of space, what kind of theme it is. Oops. 75 is mechanical. Machine and technology holds sway in this place. Okay. So that is, yeah, machines and technology. Okay, so there is some sort of mechanical area. So she takes a look, and I'm writing all this down, and I think Matala is going into her scavenger shade mode because she's undetectable right now, or currently, until she moves to do something interactive that makes her noticeable by the grave keeper, who does seem to still be making their rounds, but not as often during the evenings. So this area is probably on the outskirts of the lake bed. Outskirts of the lake bed, outside of the graveyard. A small mechanical hatch on the side of a riverbed. I should say dry riverbed, of course. So maybe this mechanical hatch is something that was there but was uncovered over time as the waters receded. So that is something. There's a secret hatch nearby this a graveyard, and that's something of note. This mechanical thing is I'm gonna sort of ask if does Matala want to go in and check it out? I'm gonna make I'm gonna have a choice. I'm gonna roll for the choice for Matala, mostly because as a player, I don't like making choices for my characters if it seems out of their character, outside of because I just want to do something. Like I really want to see what's in this, but does Matala want to? And I'm thinking that because they have been so short on supplies, I think she's going to risk at least checking the area if there's something that she can check out. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to so we know that it's mechanical. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if it is a derelict zone or not. So basically, derelicts are like old, broken down settlements and stuff like that. This feels like it could be like a vault of some sort, or like an old precursor vault. It could be just like a shelter, like a fallout shelter type of thing. So I think she's gonna go in. And I'm gonna have her. So we know that it's mechanical in nature. And I think what I want to do is, based off of the location theme, roll to see if it's something that could be a derelict of some sort. I also could just roll the Oracle as well. And of note, whenever I have this, sort of like fork in the road of like how to decide what tables to use or what narrative to hark on, I lean to rolling, just because I like rolling the dice. But there is an element of like, if the roll doesn't make sense, you could just use your first instinct. My first instinct that this is like a fallout shelter, an old fallout shelter, because but the fact that it's secret it implies that it's hidden from view. But I want to know like how deep of it, like if it's hidden and there's a huge society under there, or if it's an old archaeology that has been buried. That'd be interesting. So I kind of want to have an option for it to be a precursor vault, which would mean that it would be a what's it called here? A vault here. It could be a vault. It could be an underground settlement. It could just be a ruin, but I doubt that. It could be. Let's see. It could also be an archaeology. It could be an anomaly, or it could be an archive that's long forgotten. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll on here and roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a D6. Oop. A 1. So it's an archive of some sort. All right. So an archive are to forget is to be human, for the burden of an unceasing memory is too great for the mortal mind to withstand. Some resist the creeping triumph of oblivion, erecting great libraries and charging these structures with the endless remembering their frail minds cannot bear. So this is probably the library that we're talking about here. So I think what she finds is it is going to be an well, let's roll to see what kind of archive it is. So this is a D20. If it's if it's 1 or a 2, it's a book. It's a 15. Art. Okay, so it's archive of statues, and appearance is dark. Okay, dark inside, so she can't really see much when she opens the hatch, which, you know, she's able to get inside. Not really an issue. I think it's not like it's. I think it's more that it's just never really been accessed before. And let's see. Okay, cultists who worship decay. All right, look inside, dark inside, with decay worshipping cult members. Okay, so archive of statues is near this library space, and I think that as she sees that there's movement down there, she doesn't feel like this is a place to scavenge supplies and to do any sort of thing. I think what I'm going to do here, though, is I'm going to have her roll shadow to face danger to leave, because I think at this point, this archive probably has some sort of notification system that the outer door had been opened. So she's going to go in there. She took a look around, and now she's going to leave. But let's see if she can get out of there before bad things happen. Double 8. Yikes. So 3. Oh, right. Sorry. It's dark, so it's 6. I set it 6 because she's using shade. So it's 6 plus her shadow, which is 2. Oh, which is exactly 8. Is there anything that could help her bump that up to a +1? I don't think so. So that means that is a miss with a match, and that is a complication. So Matala gets to the exit, but let's roll on the complication table. There's a complication table. Let's roll story complication. 43. Someone important betrays your trust. That doesn't make any sense in this particular situation. She doesn't have anybody. she's already been betrayed, so there's no one else that she knew that she would trust in this situation. The only other person, obviously, is Ardell, and Ardell is not. That is not a key personage for this complication. So I'm gonna roll it again. I don't know why I rolled the D20. I need to roll the D100. 8. That's a 0, so that's an 8. Debt or promise comes due. Ooh. Oh, I know what this is. The complication is that I believe we need to fill out being watched automatically. So one of these gets ticked off. We don't even roll for that. I think it automatically fills because of the complication roll. And she gets to the exit, but as she leaves the hidden archive, an unfortunately familiar face, it greets her on the outside. So I believe that this is a nomad tracker from her old tribe. So that still kind of falls under that someone else betrayed her. But this a tracker caught up with her and is probably waited for her to get away from the safety of Ardell being there, and probably tracked her all the way here, kept at a distance. And the complication is the only reason why this person's here, as opposed to waiting until this fills up. So she has like this moment of shock. And I think there's this immediate sort of like, I think she wants to charge at them, and for once and for all sort of like deal with this thing. She calls on her thing and buzzes for Ardell to wake up. The distance isn't too far for their local communication devices to work, a la like a walkie-talkie system, short-range telephone type of thing. Think like a tin can and a wire. They work in short distances, but anything longer than a block. If you lived in the 19th century or in the 20th century, then you might have experienced that. But anyway, I digress. This is going to be a face danger roll, and she is going to roll edge with speed and mobility, and she's going to roll into a sort of an encounter, try to kite this tracker back to the camp where most of her gear is and where Ardell is, so that Ardell can join in on the fray if that is the thing that needs to happen. So she's going to face danger and roll edge here. Her shade ability failed, so that's not going to help her. So she's just going to roll plus a 3. 1 plus 3 is not going to do it. That's a 10 and a 6. That is a fail. On a miss, you fail, or a momentary success is undermined by a dire turn. So I think she succeeds in making some distance, but I think that doesn't really matter. I think she hears a shot from behind her, and a loud sort of plong, like a loud sort of electronic sort of stun wave hits her in the back, and she flies forward. And so she's going to suffer a immediate loss of one health as she tumbles to the ground, and now she is definitely, now we're in a combat scenario, where I think this nomad tracker is gonna be a pretty 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't think troublesome. I think it's gonna be a dangerous. So it's gonna be 2 per prog. So dangerous. I believe it's 2 per progress is dangerous. I'm gonna look in the back of the book. Dangerous is 2 boxes, so 2 boxes per success. And so she is entering the fray. When you initiate or forced into a fight, envision your objective and give it a rank. Thing is that I think that she is in pay the price because she got shot in the back and is on the ground. I think she is in a bad spot. So I'm going to write I'm going to do a little bit of a bad spot question mark and a big old box here, and I'm going to say yes for right now. That's just going to tell me what we can do. She's going to react under fire right now. So I think what's going to happen here is she's going to roll and basically try to, use her. She's trying to find a better position and take cover from this stun shot. And so she's going to do that with a +3 is her edge. All right. 1 + 3 is 4. And that is a miss. The situation worsens, stay in a bad spot, and must pay the price. I think the obvious thing here is that she gets hurt again. Yes. There is a sense, I think that the tracker has her in his sights and shoots her again, and she's going to -1 on that. She wants to endure harm. So again, the suffer moves. I think she's going to try to trade momentum to gain health. So she's going to try to endure harm. So her health is, so you roll, hold on. When you face physical injury, fatigue, suffer -1, then choose to roll health or iron, whichever is higher. Her iron is 1, her health is 4, so she's going to roll +3. Wow. Okay, so that's a weak hit. On a weak hit, she can exchange momentum for health, and that's exactly what she's going to do. She's going to sort of slow down a bit so that stun effect doesn't affect her as much. So I feel like she sort of rolls into a position where she gets hit, but her body keeps moving, so she doesn't feel the pain. But when she stands up, she's not really ready. So again, she needs to try to. She's trying to clash here and fight back as she runs up into a full-on fight, and she is throwing rocks at the guy to try to disarm him, picking up big pebbles and stuff, from like around the dry riverbed. And so she's going to roll with edge here. 3 and 3 on the challenge die, and 6 is 9. That's a strong hit with a match. On a strong hit, mark progress twice. You overwhelm your foe and are in control. So no longer is she in a bad spot, and we are in control, which is amazing. And we mark progress twice. So we fill out 2 boxes per progress. So we fill out 4 boxes, actually. So I think what this feels like is that, you know, she picks up a few rocks and one just squarely beans him in the middle of his his face. And she knows this person, you know, she knows, you know, how they work. He just got the jump on her, but now that she's in control, she throws another rock and disarms him completely. And now she is going to gain ground, and she wants to reinforce her position and move toward. And I think with the opportunity here, I think from behind her, or rather from behind the enemy, I think we hear Ardell going, "I'm on my way." So he is on scene. So I think he will get a chance to do something from afar, and he has his hover bike. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to make a maneuver with his bike, and an afterburner, and make a move to perform a risky maneuver. And so I'm going to add +2 to this roll and have edge. So it's going to be when you fire the bike's afterburner and move to perform a risky maneuver, you add integrity and take 2 momentum on a strong hit. If you do, count a weak hit as a miss. And when you make a move while maneuvering your bike and burn momentum to improve. Okay. All right. So he has a momentum of 8. So that might be a thing. All right. So let us set the scene. So we have the slightly incapacitated tracker sort of fumbling and trying to get their weapon back. And Ardell is on the scene because of that opportunity roll, which was amazing. And he's not quite close enough to get a good shot, but he burns the afterburner on the hover bike, and is gonna beeline it and try to swoop around and swipe at the guy with the bike itself. It is a risky maneuver, so he's gonna roll edge. Actually, I think this is more of a gain ground and take control in pursuit, fling, or charging boldly into action, coming to the aid of others. He's going to roll heart. He's going to roll heart plus the 2 integrity. So the integrity of the skiff is at 2 right now. So he gets a +5 to this roll. 4 plus 5 is 9. 7 and 5 on the challenge die. That's a strong hit on that gain ground. And as he comes over, he makes that successful thing. On a strong hit, take +2 momentum, which is awesome. So now he has 10 momentum. And when you make a move while maneuvering your bike and burn momentum, which we did not need to burn momentum, so he successfully gets near the Nomad tracker and kind of comes between the gun and the tracker, and we get to mark progress. So 2 more, and also add 1 to, I think he's gonna sort of call out to Matala and says, "I'll get the gun. I'll distract him," or rather, I distracted him. And so Matala is gonna try to get the gun with the aid of the distraction that Ardell is providing. With the gain ground move, Ardell had marked progress, and also he's going to add +1 on the next move, which is going to be for actually Matala, who's going to get that bonus as she dives for the gun, which is, I think, is more of another gain ground as well. But for her, this is more of a coordinating a plan and gaining leverage. And so she's going to roll wits, which is +2, plus the 1, so it's a +3. 4 plus 3 is 7, which is right between the 6 and 7, so it's a weak hit. On a weak hit, she either gets the mark progress, or add 1, or take +2 momentum. She's going to mark progress. So now it's 8 out of 10, and this a tracker. So she succeeds in kicking the gun away. But the kind of scenario is this tracker is very, very vicious, and now is moved into more of a primal, I'm going to defend myself, as opposed to take care of his mark. Does not look great. I think at this point, I think Ardell is going to scream at this guy, "You better stop. We will defend ourselves. You don't look so great." So he is going to attempt to gain ground by commanding this guy to stop. So I think he's going to roll heart, which is +2. And he can't tap into any of his abilities because he doesn't have them. So he's going to roll +2. All right, so 6. That's a weak hit. So that works. So I think that's a weak hit. So he's going to mark progress. And he goes, "Matala, say your piece. I've got him." And like Matala tosses the rifle over to Ardell as he zeroes in on the tracker, and basically says to him, "Make a move, I dare you." And Matala runs over, vaults over the hover bike, and tackles the nomad, and like with foaming resolve goes, "Leave me alone. I don't want to be part of the tribe anymore. Just leave me in peace." So she's again rolling heart. It's just not her thing. I would say it could be iron with her force. Either way, it's not great. So she is actually she's taking decisive action. When you seize an objective in the fight, envision how you take decisive action, and that's what she's doing. She jumps over the bike and vaults on the guy. She's in control. So we are going to, if you're in a bad spot, count a strong hit without. Okay, so we are going to roll and make. It's a progress move. Envision how you then roll the challenge dice and compare your progress. Got it. Okay, so roll the challenge dice. The progress is at 10, so anything but a double 10 is what we want. We preferably want both of these underneath a 10. So 3 and a 3. Oh, that's a strong hit with a match. On a strong hit, you prevail. Take +1 momentum. So Matala goes up from 4 to 5 as she sails into the tracker's body, pummels him down to the sand, and the thing is, he relents, and there's a tense moment of him breathing and an acquiesce of control, and he just puts his hands above his head on the ground, and his hand behind his head on the ground, and says, Matala, scout of the nomad tribe, I hear your words. I will not pursue, but you must understand. Your, pardon the expression, husband. He is no husband of mine. He stole my husband. My husband is dead. Yes, sorry. You're the leader of our tribe has issued a fee for your return and a bounty for the return of a tribe's wife is high. You understand this. Why you have someone like me track you down. Our bounty was a fruitful amount of materials to craft things for my family. I know you were a professional and lauded scavenger when you were with the tribe. So you must understand how hard it is to make goods from very little. Our new leader has hoarded many of our resources and supplies for himself, but has granted a large boon to those that can return his exiled wife back to him. I promise I won't engage with that activity any longer, but you must know that if I go back empty-handed, I'm going to say that you bested me and beat me, so you must make it look good. I cannot go back and be empty-handed. And with that must make it look good, I think like Matala rears up her fist and pummels the guy in the eye and says to the tracker, "Thank you for the information. Now get out of here and tell them that I said leave me alone or they will face the same fate as you and worse. Especially that cur of a king." And I think we'll leave it there. So we we just had a quite the battle and a story revelation that the tracker was only following orders from the leader, of which I don't remember the guy's name, for Matala. Kazor the Amused, hired by Kazor the Amused to bring Matala, quote, home. New info. Hoarding the tribe's resources for himself. So he lets the tracker go and calls out to the tracker as he sort of limps away, not cowering, but basically says, "This man," and she points over to Ardell. This man has plans to leave this rock, this blue marble we live on. Do you know anything about the skies above and the old ways, where ships flew above the blue, above the sky? That is where I will go. I will leave this place too. You will never find me. He will never find me. Do you understand? And there's no response from the tracker as he walks away. So I will leave it there, folks, and we will continue with Ardell Santos and Matala recuperating from a tense scuffle, and then a possible exploration of an archive of statues or a search for the library, because we still need to find that library. Find library on Hex. And so we are currently here, and so there is this is a dry riverbed plus hills, and there is a archive which is hidden, and a library, dry riverbed, and hills. Okay, so hills. All right, making find library on Hex or explore archive. So that is next session. So I'll leave it here, folks. I know I said it a few times already, but until next time, folks, I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.